So I'm a proponent. Your woman should be as smart and as intelligent as possible. And that should not make you feel insecure with who you are. Like, you should have a breadth of stuff. Let's take it back, Trill. You should be great at something. Let's take it back to the beginning. She should be part of this circle of influence around you that helps make you better. So get you a dope, smart woman, and don't start comparing yourself to her. If you are confident and you have a business of your life, you should be confident that you're hiring a consultant, marrying a wife that can contribute to the success of the business of your life.
And Humble Dad, let me ask you this question. Since I didn't see the movie, the mathematician women, did they know how to be quiet, or they were just like super smart in math and didn't know how to shut up? Which one?
Don't even answer it. Don't even answer it. We're gonna chop it up after we get our other fellas in here. We're gonna go Shan, Sweetie.
Talking about at home? Like I can't remember.
We're gonna go Shan, Sweetie, then Louise. Y'all about to really answer that question from Let Go? Y'all tripping. All right. Shan, go ahead.
The last topic with Jonathan Major, I didn't answer that. I just want to throw this in here. on self-improvement and going to the gym and getting, if all else fails, fellas, get money. Money is a great equalizer. If you want to look better, get money. So I want to throw that out there. For this one here, listen. The success or failure of men is largely dependent on the woman he chooses. See, the question scrolling across the bottom is asking about men just want looks. You know, they go wrong these days because they're looking for looks. But the video was talking about get you a woman that's smarter than you. So they really didn't. They kind of correlated, but they were kind of different questions. And I just want to remind you guys, like me, I like smart women. But it's important. But I'm also a film producer, and in Hollywood, when we at the Academy Awards, as an example, for last Sunday, the Best Picture award goes to the producer. A lot of people talk about the best actress and the best actor. Then you have best editing, you have best sound design, you got best costume. I think Ruth Carter won that for Wakanda Forever. But the top award at the Oscars is the Best Picture award. That's the #1 award. It's above Best Actor and Best Actress. I was a member of the Academy. And the reason why is because that goes to the producer who put everything together. The producer of any film is the boss. They are the CEO of a movie set. And one thing that I used to teach when I was producing movies is that the producer needs to know a little bit about everything, but doesn't have to necessarily be an expert of any of them. You got to know a little bit about every department in the film business. You got to know about camera. You have to know about camera and lighting. That's the G&E department, the grip. You have to know about the grip and electric department. You got to know about costume. You got to know about a little bit of everything. But then you want experts in each one of the departments that's going to be really good at what they do. But you're not so dumb in that department that they can screw you over and you don't know what to do in case they decide to not come to work one day, right? And I remember Oprah Winfrey had a meeting. This is back when she had Harpo Studios and she was in Chicago. And she came into the meeting and she said, the moment that I know more about your job than you do, you're fired. Think about that. The more that I know more about your job than you do, you're fired, but I'm still the boss. So it also reminds me of Henry Ford. Way back in the day, this Chicago newspaper kind of said Henry Ford, the guy that created the Ford Motor Company, right? That invented the conveyor belt, the assembly line that we use today. Chicago newspaper told him that, they had put out in the paper that he was an idiot. He's like a bumbling idiot or something. He shouldn't be who he is. And he sued the newspaper. And in court, he was called to the witness stand. And they were like, well, tell us who was Benedict Arnold and tell us what soldiers was in this particular war. And he said, I don't know that answer. He said, but I got a row of buttons, electronic buttons across my desk that if I push any one of those buttons, I'll have a consultant come in my office and tell me any answer I want to know about anything in the world. You don't always have to be the smartest when you have a team of smart people, as long as you know a little bit about everything. Now, if you got a woman that is a drain on you, bro, is she an asset or is she a liability? Is she just a bumbling idiot? Is she an airhead? Is she a blonde, as they say? Is she just dumb and don't know nothing and won't ever know nothing? You explain something, that becomes such a chore that you will, after the sex and after all the good looks and all that kind of stuff, and after you didn't show her off and she's the trophy and everybody didn't seen her, you don't even want to talk to her. I don't know if you guys ever been in a car on a car ride with a woman that you can't talk to because you can't bring up no current events. You can't talk about politics. You can't talk about religion. You can't talk about current events. You can't talk about the business that's going on. You can't talk about this contract that you're getting ready to deal with next week. She just got to sit there and be quiet. And that drive becomes extra long, man. Trust me when I tell you. Does she need to be smarter than you, as the video was suggesting? She got to be smart.
Shannon.
And maybe she needs to be really intelligent at one particular thing that you need in whatever you got going on for your plan and your vision and your program.
Shannon, why don't you wait till you get home then have sex? That way the drive won't be so miserable.
Sometimes you got to talk on the way home, or you just driving and you guys are quiet. You know, some of y'all have had those quiet rides, and it's like, what the fuck I'm gonna talk about? You know, you want a woman. Let me tell you something. And Sir Hill said it best, and so did Trill. You want a woman that you can at least use as counsel in a particular thing. I think Sir Hill mentioned Canva, which is a graphic design program. Baby, you're better at that than I am. It's not that I can't do it.
Other ball head guy.
You know what? You're good at that, and I'd rather you do that. And you're really good at it. So handle that for me. And you got this different set of people that's involved. And so the way the video was saying, you need to have a woman that's smarter than you. And listen, that's Mr. Let Go's boy. You know, he met them and the dude's a multimillionaire. But I think he may have worded it wrong, having a woman just smarter than you, because at that point, you run into the problems that Trill brought up. Next thing you know, you're going to have a coup. You're going to have somebody that's going to you're going to have somebody like Shaq and his wife stashing money, skimming the till. Next thing you know, she done stashed up $9 million over here that you had no idea for, because you didn't know nothing about the finances in the family. And she done stashed up $9 million on the side because you didn't even understand the books. You didn't know what a ledger was when it came to accounting. That's not smart. You want a smart woman, but you got to be smart too. So I'll leave it at that.
All right. Hey, that was a banger. My man Sweeney, let's get you in here. What you got on it?
I would have to say that when it comes to trilling, what Mr. Lego said, I think that works in the vacuum. I think if no way today does it make sense. Well, not necessarily does it make sense, but I don't think it's plausible today. $4,000 separate, and I'm just going to talk specifically about the black community. $4,000 separate black men from black women. 1% separates black men who graduate secondary education from black women. Women are I think only 10% separate us in business ownership. Our women are just as smart as us, are just as capable as us, making just as much money as us. And there's nothing we can do to stop it. Nothing. The only thing you can do is do what we've been doing. Just back in the 50s, only $11,000 separated black men from black women. It wasn't like we were head and shoulders ahead of our women. So today, it's inevitable that they're going to be this way. So the idea that, oh, you have to be smarter than her or you have to make more money than her, it's not a reality today. What ultimately the point is that you got to find somebody that's going to mesh with you and not going to be a headache in your life. And I think there are women who are capable of doing that, even if they make just as much money as you, even if they are just as smart as you, even if they are just as educated or just as accomplished. It's an inevitability. People tend to marry within their social classes. The rich tend to marry the rich. The poor tend to marry the poor. The average tend to marry the average. So I don't think that's a reality at this point. I think, you know what I mean? What we need to do is really figure out how to make this shit work. Because if that's the case, if you have to be smarter than her, if you have to make more money than her, if you have to do this for the vast majority of black folks, we're fucked. You might as well throw marriage to the wind, because it's not going to happen. If we assume that our women cannot rock with us and cannot cannot move in lockstep with us unless we're this, and this. We're fucked because they're already doing it.
I gotta disagree with that because I think, again, from just provide clarity from the point that I was making in terms of women, like this not for me. This is women saying this. If you got 10 women who dating men, right, and all these 10 women make more money than they man, smarter than they man, and have doubts about that man being able to protect them, let's just say, how many of those women are going to authentically respect that man's leadership? If you give me a high number, I'm gonna cut this camera off and go to bed because we up here just talking to talk.
I will answer your question. We're fucked. If that's the case, we're fucked.
But and Sweeney right. That's where we hit the wall because women are 60% of the students in 2 to 4 year colleges is women, and from 16 to 34, women are out earning men anyways until they hit 35.
That's not true. That's not true, bro.
I looked up the stat. We had an argument this last.
Wait, no. You sent it to me. Let me explain what the stat actually meant. It said that women between the ages of 16 and I think it said 29 earn 90% of what men earn. That means that for every dollar that a man earns, she earns 90 cents.
90 cents. Oh.
That's what that meant. That's what that I wrote it to you in a back chat, but yeah, that's what that means. It doesn't mean that she earns 90% more than him. It means that she earns 90% of what he earns. So yeah.
My only thing is the pessimistic viewpoint on it though. That's what I don't get. Like you say, we fucked. No, niggas just need to get up and go make more money and get more educated. Like that's what it boils down to.
But they
just don't accept the status quo as is. The women just closing that gap quick as hell. Hey man, ain't nothing we can do.
No, what I'm saying
you can do.
What I'm saying is that
go to school. What I'm saying is that make all types of income, different things like that, and that's what needs to happen. Men need to fight to stay in the leadership position. But a lot of men don't want to do that. Men want to take those women who are excelling like we talking about and dumb them down and make them, again, I want you smart, but I want you quiet. Shit like that. More so than you just getting off your ass and going out there making more money and going to school and getting more educated.
But would you say that's a problem with the man who's going out there and trying to dumb his woman down rather than just sitting there and letting her do her? Like if she's going to go out there and earn it, she's going to go out there and earn it. Why would you go into the situation saying, all right, well, I want you to, and this is not saying that you actually said this, but like, why would a man go in and tell a woman like, all right, well, I get that you went to college, but shut the fuck up. Like that don't make no sense. She gonna speak. She's intelligent. So
no, that's I don't think that's the quiet. So first of all, you should be a man of respect where she knows when to be quiet. And you should have so much authority and respect by her when you tell her to, she knows it's coming from a good place. You should be in that position for sure. What Trill is saying, I 100% agree with that. We can debate and we can hypothesize all we want to. After the degree, after the business, there's what we call female nature, and that doesn't change. She wants a man that's dominant, that is a leader, that's a protector, that's a provider, period. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't mean that you also have to have as many degrees as her. It just means you have to be intelligent, a provider. You have to be a leader. You have to have something that represents covering to her. And when you represent that, you win that respect. So let's not have any ambiguity with this. You have to be a man in charge, in front, as a leader that's able to lead a woman. Because once respect goes out the door, and that comes from you not being able to cover her in all those areas, the relationship is over, even if you two are still together.
But remember, hypergamy is not just money. Hypergamy is built into every woman. It's not just it's a socio-economic status that women want, equal or above. And it's not just making money equal or above. It's also intelligence equal or above.
But women want that point though. Y'all make a Sweeney point because the women are going. They want you to be this. They're gonna push themselves to be this because they're
not going to slow down. And I don't think. And look, think of it this way: we earn more than our grandfathers did. We earn more than our fathers did. They're earning more than their grandmothers did, but they're closing the gap. But they're not closing the gap because we're falling behind. They're closing the gap because they're being given more and more opportunities as the time goes on. Women have been getting more and more opportunities from the 80s, from women's suffrage and everything else. They've been getting more and more opportunity. So they're closing the gap.
Nobody's going to stop them, though.
There's a reason why these opportunities are available. There's a reason why they fought for these opportunities. because they want their own independence.
So the thing is, so at this point, the only thing that's going to happen is they're going to equalize into us. It's just a great equalizer. They're going to match what we match. So the reality is there's no such thing. There's no such thing as, oh, well, you got to go out there and get more, because there is no more. Resources are finite. Resources on this planet are finite.
It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle that women want. And if you can't give it to them, they're gonna go. They have now. Society has put it in place to where they can go and get it for themselves. But it's a rainy day at the end, because most of the women who actually go and have careers don't even have anything saved in retirement. They don't even put stuff.
I would say that's most people.
Let's not even talk about their debt.
We got to get Luis in here.
The national debt.
All right, let's get Luis in here so we gotta get our bro in here. What's going on, Luis? What you got on it?
I'm gonna say this. This has been a real good conversation. Women don't want an equal; they want a superior. And with that being said, I believe that your woman should be inspirational. She should be able to compliment you. You both should be able to compliment each other. Have high vibrational conversations that progress your relationship. Talk about business, creative ideas, expose yourself to different experiences. And I think that that's a constant thing, right? To really have that kind of chemistry and that conversation always flowing. And, to, Shannon's point earlier, you want to have someone to build with who wants to be an asset in every way and not a liability. Not a liability to the relationship, not a liability to the plan that you have laid out to build a future for your kids and things of that nature. And I think it kind of comes back down to kind of remembering that her looks is not what's going to raise your children, is her mindset. And I think that finding the right woman with the right mindset and understanding her role in the relationship dynamic, right? And you valuing her insight and her opinion, it doesn't have to be the buck stops there, but I think that getting that sort of insight for that person, right, who's in your relationship, who understands where things are going. And to Trill's, credit earlier, you want a woman who is involved in different aspects and understand, like, hey, like, this is what's going on with the business. This is what's going on with our portfolio. This is what's going on with our properties. This is the proposal that we're talking about. This is how we're going to move things. And having those kind of constant conversations, they feel part involved as, someone at the helm, although you play that leadership role in your relationship. So I will always encourage people to, choose wisely, especially when you're having these conversations about women who are intelligent, because your relationship isn't going to grow with two people who just think stagnantly, especially her.
Can I ask you a question, Lewis? You said that a woman want a man that's superior to her, right?
Yep.
Don't you think it's disingenuous not to differentiate with what type of woman we talking about? Are we talking about a traditional woman or a mother?
All women.
I think all women.
I disagree with that.
Bruiser, consciously or subconsciously, they all want a superior man. It doesn't have to represent itself in a conscious way, especially in today's day and age. But let something hit the fan. Let them about to be blamed for something. Let them be something serious at stake.
Okay, so you're saying that they want this man in the convenience whenever it's convenience. But I would argue and say that I would actually have weight in my argument if I said modern women no longer wants a man to be over them.